most people think they're broke because they just don't earn enough money. But what if that's not the real problem? What if the issue isn't the size of your paycheck, but how it just seems to vanish every single month? Okay, let's get into this because the truth is, for a lot of us, being broke is a spending problem, not an earning one. And to really see this in action, we're going to look at a real world case study. Seriously, this story just completely blows up the whole idea that a bigger salary is some magic fix for your money troubles. It's a perfect example of how a pretty decent income can be totally, and I mean totally, sabotaged. So let me ask you straight up, when you feel that financial pressure, that squeeze, is your very first thought, man, I just need to make more money? I mean, it's what most of us think, right? But as we're about to see, that can be a huge distraction from what's really going on. And boom, this quote just nails the disconnect. This came from a financial audit of the person we're talking about. $1,000 on restaurants and food delivery in 1 month, while at the same time having to borrow money from her grandma. That right there, that's the heart of the problem. So let's meet her. She's 27 years old, she's in sales, and she brings home about $4,500 a month. That's after taxes. So what, over 50 grand a year take home? On paper, she should be doing just fine, more than fine. But, well, let's peel back the curtain. So now we need to break down the true cost of all this. See, it's not just about one bad month of spending. This whole thing morphs into like a two-headed monster. You've got the immediate, crushing debt that you can see, and then you've got the silent, invisible loss of what your future could have been. The damage is hitting from two sides at once. And here's where the money goes. I mean, look at this. $1,000 on food, over $100 on vapes, $200 a week. That's $800 a month on her nails. And then there's another $900 on, well, other bullshit, as it was called. It's pretty clear this isn't about paying for necessities. This is about impulse spending running wild. So, what's the end result? What's the consequence of all that spending? This. Over $40,000 in consumer debt. And let's be clear, this isn't a mortgage, it's not a student loan. This is 40 grand of high-interest credit card debt and personal loans. Almost all of it piled up just by spending more than she makes on stuff she doesn't need, month after month after month. But that debt, that's only half the damage. Every single dollar you waste has a hidden cost, what we call an opportunity cost. Yeah, that $200 on nails and coffee feels good right now. But that same $200, if you had invested it, it could grow into something huge over time. Every dollar you spend on little things today is a dollar you are literally stealing from your future self. Okay, so she's got 40 grand in high interest debt. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's her problem. But here's the thing. That debt gets way more dangerous when the entire world's financial system starts to shift. See, your personal debt doesn't exist in a bubble. It's connected to a much, much bigger and riskier game. Okay, stay with me here. For about 30 years, Japan kept its interest rates at basically zero. That meant huge investors could borrow Japanese yen for almost nothing and then go invest it in places like the US for a much higher return. It was like a giant global free money spigot that was fueling the whole economy. But that just changed. Japan started raising its rates, and now that spigot is being turned off. And why does that matter? Well, as the legendary investor Ray Dalio puts it, the bond market is the backbone of everything. So when a massive source of money that was propping up that market starts to go away, the entire structure begins to wobble. This isn't just some boring financial news. It's a fundamental change in how money flows around the world. And this is why it matters to you. When that global river of cheap money starts to dry up, the cost of borrowing money goes up for everyone, everywhere. That means your mortgage rate, the interest on your credit card balance, the loan for your next car, it all gets more expensive, which makes escaping that debt trap even harder. So, yeah, that's the problem. And it's a big one. But look, it is not hopeless. The key is to make a pivot, a total change in your mindset. It's time to stop thinking about just getting by and start understanding the basic laws of how money actually works so you can start building real, lasting wealth. All right, law number 1 is so important. Money loves speed, but wealth loves time. See, making quick cash, that's about acting fast on an opportunity. But building actual wealth, that's a totally different game. It's about making a smart decision and then letting your greatest ally, time, do all the heavy lifting for you through compounding.
And here's another huge one you have to get. Cash flow keeps you alive, but equity makes you free. Your cash flow, your paycheck, that pays the bills today. It keeps the lights on. But equity, owning a piece of something that grows in value, like stocks or business, that is what actually creates financial freedom. The goal isn't just to have an income, it's to use that income to buy assets.
So, let's just boil this all down. Forget all the complicated financial jargon, forget the get-rich-quick stuff. We've seen the problem, we get the bigger picture, and we've learned the core laws. So here it is, the simple, direct formula to take back control of your financial life.
This is it. 4 simple but incredibly powerful steps. Number 1, spend less than you earn. I mean, that's the foundation of everything. 2, avoid consumer debt like it's the plague. 3, go through your bank statements and cut every single useless expense you can find. And 4, start investing. Even if it's a tiny amount, start now and let time work for you. And that really brings us to the final, hard truth of all of this. The actual formula for getting rich, it's not that complicated. But the thing that truly separates people who build wealth from those who stay broke, it isn't some kind of financial genius. It's discipline. It's simply being able to control yourself and your spending.
So at the end of the day, this isn't really about the numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about the story your money tells about you, about your priorities, your discipline, and what you really want for your future. So the real question isn't just, how can I earn more? It's what story do I want my money to tell? Is it going to be a story of debt and regret, or a story of freedom and a future you built yourself?